What is going on, guys? It's Reflex here, and with 2K20 arriving in like 2 months probably, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about my hopes and wants for it and just kind of what I want to see fixed and all that, because there's a lot. There's stuff you want to see fixed, there's stuff you hope they refine, there's stuff that you hope they add, and I mean, more than likely every year you make these lists, and more than likely 2K doesn't add them or doesn't do what you'd like them to do. But so we're gonna try it again. Obviously, the first thing, it gotta be the first thing, fix the servers. For some reason 2K and their servers just don't bode well. I buy 2K19, I wait for it to drop at midnight, right? And then it just so happens I'm not even able to play the goddamn game. I have to wait another 8 hours, which, I mean, at that point in time I actually went to bed, I went to sleep and just woke up, and then I was able to finally play the game. But the fact that it's always a shaky start when it comes to that game, I mean, they got to prepare. It's like, you got a fan base, you got a community that's going to be playing your game. Set it up correctly. I mean, Call of Duty has these issues, but it's resolved in like 30 minutes, maybe an hour. But it gets better through time. But it's like 2K, it's what, how many months in of their cycle already? Almost a goddamn year, like 10 months, and I'm still having issues in their servers. And I mean, every once in a while, it's like every time they add a patch, like they'll do these roster updates and stuff like that, and then out of nowhere, I have trouble connecting to the goddamn game, and it's dumb. But the main issue with this that you know I still see is fix the goddamn timeout error code glitch in All-Star Team Up or Pro-Am. Like, this doesn't happen in Park, which is why a lot of people play Park, other than, you know, also it's fun to play, but there's no timeouts in Park. So obviously you're not going to experience this if you only play that, or even my team. I don't think it happens in my team either, but what happens in Pro-Am and All-Star Team Up is that, say you're going on a run. Obviously, when you're going on a run, the smart thing to do as the opposing team is call a timeout, is rally the troops together and figure out what's going wrong. But if you do that now, there's a chance that you're doing it to error code the other team, because I swear every single time I'll call a timeout, the whole entire other team or my friend gets error coded. That's why we stopped calling timeouts unless it's needed. Like, if our team that really sucks is just ball hogging and they ain't passing it, yeah, I'm gonna hurry up and click that timeout button and hope you get error coded, which is grimy, I know, but that's why 2K should fix it, because literally we'll go on a run and then we'll get error coded out because people timed out. And at this point, you're not timing out to time out anymore. At this point in the game, you're timing out just to pretty much error code the other team. There's no one that actually, like, at least the other team, like, if you're getting throttled and down by 20 in the fourth quarter, you're probably going to just call a timeout just to try to error code people, which is dumb, and I hope they fix it, because it seems like an easy fix. They got to realize something's going on, but either no one's speaking up about it, or they just don't care, which is obviously a 2K thing, so they might not care. But I hope they fix it, because I mean, timeouts is a thing that I personally think is needed. Like, you can't even say there's like 2 seconds left in the fourth quarter, and you need a clutch shot. You can't even call a timeout to get it to the other side, because if you do, there's a chance that that whole team will get error coded, or you'll get error coded, and then you don't even get your VC for finishing that match, or even the satisfaction of possibly hitting the game winner or anything. So you just pretty much got to chuck a full quarter just to try to even make a shot happen. Like, it's ridiculous, and I hope they fix it. But then obviously the next thing, I want neighborhood separate from my park. Now, this probably sounds weird to you, but they did this in 2K18, where you'd have the main stuff on your way to the park, but as soon as you hit park, you could tell like it had this little lag at the moment, but that's you switching to a my park server. But what they did in 2K19 was that they just had everything surrounding the goddamn park, and I swear sometimes it felt like it was laggy, or you could just feel some interference in the game, where it's just like, separate park from neighborhood. Keep neighborhood in one spot, and then have like some cages or something. Have a cage that you can go through. Like, you open the door, you go through, and then as you go through, that's a different server. That is the My Park server. You can invite your squad through there, and that way there will be no interferences from, you know, swags, from Foot Locker, from the NBA store, from barbers. Like, there would be no interference from that. There won't be any interference from all the players waiting around, you know, outside the courts. Like, there won't be any interference from that. It'll be simply My Park related, and I think that'd be a good way to do it, because you're getting interference from people waiting to go into Pro-Am. You're waiting for people to, you know, go into the other courts. You're waiting for people to, I mean, just waiting to go into their court. Like, you're waiting for all these people that are just sitting there, and it's all interfering with the game itself. But if you get, obviously, if you put courts that are specifically for my park and it's a whole different server, you'll still get those people standing around, but it'll just be different because they're all waiting for park itself. They're not waiting for anything else, which I think would be really, really good if they did it like that, because there won't be any lag, there won't be any interference, and there won't be any random error codes or something where you can't connect because, you know, certain stuff is just messing up. And I think that'd be a good way to do it. But obviously, next, park affiliations. People, I've been seeing a lot of people, they want this. I feel like they need to add some of the old ones, obviously, but then I want them to add some new ones. Maybe a couple of new ones, make 5 affiliations. Maybe that's too many, but I still think it'd be cool to add park affiliations back into the game, because one, gives you reason to grind in the later years when you have those competitions between the park affiliations. But then, you know, there's also stuff, obviously, you could go to different parks and compete against each other, and I think that was really cool, and I want them to add that back, because I think it'd be a neat thing to promote players to kind of just play more. You know, obviously they still got like that ruffles, you know, 4-point you know, all that stuff, but I want them to add some just different stuff, different incentives to play the game, and not just, you know, these events that half the time you can't even get into because 2K's servers aren't ready for that action. So I mean, they got to think of something else. But then next is make walk-on pro-am matchmaking more efficient, because like, when it comes, obviously you go in with a squad, and that's cool. You go in with a squad, you're already ready to go. But if you decide to just go in with one person, and you want to like play the game, you want to do like maybe some challenge or something for YouTube, and you want to maybe make like a one-man army where you go in there trying to help a team that might not be so good. So you're going in a walk-on program and you just want to play. Obviously by yourself it actually works a lot better, but the moment you add a person, like say you want to add your friend in there, me and Judge, we always try to go into walk-on pro-am, but the thing is, it's like there's a just sudden difference when you try to go in there by yourself versus going in there with a friend. Maybe it's different when one of you is a center, but when one of you, like, you're both either a point guard or a small forward, or point guard and a shooting guard. It says if you just can't get into a game, we'll get 4, and then it'll take 40 years for a game to start, and it just takes forever. That's why we always play all-star team up, because it's like it's not even worth it at this point. But I hope they make walk-on a little bit more efficient. Like, just have loading screens, have it like where you pick it. Don't even have us go into the court. Like, if you're gonna have us go into the court, have us wait like they did 2K18, where people can just join in and you all be waiting, and you can do stuff while you're waiting, and not just sit in the locker room for like 40 minutes waiting for nothing to happen, because that was just ridiculous. So I hope they fix that. But then next, and we've already seen what looks to be a blow by animation, but hopefully blow by animations aren't in the game. Like, from that screenshot it looks like it is, but you could also think of it as maybe he was late to his defensive position, and then obviously you're going to get blown by. If that's the case, then I'm cool with that. But if they just added like 2K17, I think that was where it was the worst. 2K18 was kind of bad, but 2K17 was where it was the worst. Literally, if you just hold turbo and go into, then you're fine. You'll just make it to the basket every single time. There's nothing that defender could do other than just be prepared for the blow by animation and block you at the rim. I guess pretty much all you could do. So I hope that they do not put that back into it. But with that being said, I hope that screenshot is kind of technically right with the defender being late to his position, because then that means that you can't just be, you know, have the insane amount of recovery where you're so late to the point where now all of a sudden you snapped into position and now you're in front of your defender. Like, there needs to be some type of consequence if you are late. So if there is blow by animations in that regard, then I'll be happy with that. But speaking of defense, we gotta make defense mean something. At the beginning of 2K19, defense was, I personally think, the best it's ever been. Contesting meant something. You couldn't just, you know, and it was for both sides. If you were a good defender, then obviously you could jump, and, you know, contesting meant something. But if you were on the other spectrum, you were the ones complaining about this year's defense and the reason why they changed it in the first place. But you had to actually jump. You couldn't just, there was no more pressure defense. There was no just holding your hand up and expecting to play defense. No, you actually had to jump. And at the beginning of the year, people were actually exploiting that. Like, if you weren't jumping and you were just holding your hands up and they knew that, they would just shoot over you. They would, you know, do these hesitation pull-ups and just catch you off guard because you weren't going to jump. People just weren't pressing Y for some reason, and they were exposing that. But so many people were complaining because they had to play defense that they switched it. Now, contesting is just so ridiculous that for some reason, I mean, I still make lightly contesting stuff because I'm taking good shots, because obviously sometimes it's the offensive player's fault that they're missing their shots. But I will say contesting is a lot different in this game, because it's like, well, later on in the year, because all you got to do is just like stand near your defender. And I tested this. I stood near my defender and literally just held my hands. It didn't even jump. And it was heavily contested. That man break the shot. He airballed a shot. Like, there's so many different versions of this test. But it's like, you don't even have to play defense now. And you can pretty much play defense. Like, I've seen some people jump so early, and then as they're in midair, and then I go to pull up, it says open, but it's not how it works. Or it'll say, like, he'll go right behind me. It'll be like he'll jump at me, and I'll pull a Curry and just pump fake it, go to the side, I'm open. But it'll say heavily contested because he's just around me. He's in my vicinity, didn't jump, isn't even looking in my direction because he's already jumped and accepted the pump fake, but it's a heavily contested just because he tried. It's an A for effort. 2K was holding the hands of the people that can't play defense, and I hope they take that away. Create a skill gap in 2K20. That's really what I want. Create a skill gap in the offensive way and the defensive way. Make people have to play defense, and make people have to take good shots. I mean, that's really all it is. If people like basketball as much as they think they do, then in 2K20 make it to where they actually have to play it, like don't hold their hands. But next, and this is kind of just for the All-Star Team Up community, because I was talking to my friend Judge about this, but bring the updated All-Star jerseys to All-Star Team Up, and I mean like the black and white ones, because I think that'd be cool, because one, everyone it's not a big deal, but on the West, you could actually use the all-time Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and he'll be still wearing his Bucks jersey, and I'm like, sometimes I get confused, like, hold on, there'll be two Kareems, and I'm like, which one's which? Because you guys are wearing the exact same jersey, and it'd be so annoying. And it's like, well, if one was wearing a black jersey and one was wearing a white, then you could tell perfectly. And that should be a thing that, obviously, that's where All-Star Weekend is now, where everyone has those jerseys, and I think they look nice, so why don't we add them in All-Star Team Up? I think that'd be a cool way to do it. You could even, if 2K could figure it out, they could even add the formula where you guys just pick, two captains, and then you pick your players. But obviously that might be a little odd, because if you decide to do it like that, they'd have to figure out the perfect way to do it, because thinking about it, it'd be hard to do it, because if you decide to do it that way, then you and your friend could go into All-Star Team Up together, but then get put on opposite teams because someone picked you and then someone else picked your friend. So I think it might be a bad idea to do it that way, but at least add the jerseys. I think that'd make the most sense, and I think it'd be cool. Now, this one isn't much of a big deal, because obviously you can't get too much better graphically, but there are some players that just doesn't look right still to this day. They finally fixed Dwayne Wade a little bit, and obviously they're going to be fixing him even more since he's the cover athlete. I've never seen a cover athlete that wasn't done correctly. I mean, Shaq is still kind of iffy. They have gotten better, but that man has a very small face. LeBron is tons better. He looks honestly really good. Pause. But then you got Kobe. I still think they could do Kobe a little better. I mean, he's decent, but I don't know. They can touch him up a little bit. But the ones that they really need to fix is Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady. I don't know what they're doing with their faces, but those two don't look right. And even if they want to go even further, fix up a little bit of Draymond Green, fix up Curry a lot, because Curry just, for me personally, being a Warriors fan, and yeah, I bet a lot of people cringed on that one, but me knowing what Curry looks like, that is not, like, that just don't look like Curry to me personally. But I think they had him good, and they were getting him good in 2K15. That little fro thing he had in 2K16 was odd, but the face was there. But then they went backwards in 2K17, added his hair, messed up his face. Then in 2K18, they kind of had his face good, but messed up his hair. And then 2K19, I don't even know what they're doing at this point. But they finally fixed Tim Duncan. They finally fixed Shaq a little bit, but like I said, he's still got a small face. But there's like so many different Shaqs. The Orlando Magic Shaq looks fine. The Shaquille O'Neal at the Lakers looks weird. Like, I don't know how they're messing up how these players look when they do it good on one end. Like, they have Vince Carter looking nice as the Atlanta Hawks version, but they do not have him looking nice as the Raptors version. Trace McGrady just looks garbage all around. They finally fixed Tim Duncan, like I said. And instead of a box head, now he got a box head, but with Tim Duncan's face on it. So, I mean, it looks better. But obviously, like I said, they can't get any more graphically better, but they can refine these graphics. You know, maybe make the courts pop a little bit more, make the jerseys look a little better, and then fix the faces. There's some, like, rookie LeBron, I swear, I don't know what they did to that. Rookie LeBron don't look like rookie LeBron to me. Fix up John Wall a little bit, fix up Kyrie, because I still think his face is kind of odd, as you could tell in the screenshots. They still use the same screenshot that they decided to use in 2K, I think it was 17 or 2K18, but they use the same one for 2K18 and just put it in 2K19 or 2K20, because like it was the same Celtics mean mugging look that he did, but now they put it on 2K20 in his jersey, his Brooklyn Nets jersey. Like, I thought that was a little odd. But yeah, I think as long as they do a little bit better stuff graphically with some of these players, I think it'll look good. Now, I don't play my team, but this is where you guys come in. Just leave down your comments below on what they should fix for my team, because I know some people, there's like, I guess, some stuff happening with like people leaving the game and you get the loss, so obviously that's one thing they can fix. But just let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think they should fix in my team if you play that mode. But these two are just kind of like my personal preference. I want them to add back the old 2K card. Not this, like, I'm talking about where I could be in the locker room, we could be going to play some all-star team up, and I can still click on your 2K card and see in-depth stats about you playing Park, Pro-Am, even all-star team up I think was the thing that you could play. But I really think they should bring that back, because the 2K card now, all they're doing is showing averages. Like, I want to see like all the stats. I don't want to see just a little bit of stats. I want to see every single stat. That way, you know, maybe you're trying to pick up a player and you want to see certain things. I want to see everything, because I think they pick and choose what they want you to see. That way you can just, I mean, I honestly don't know what goes through 2K's mind when they're thinking of this, but the 2K card got worse and worse. 2K16s was probably the peak, and then they went downhill from there. So I think they need to bring back the old 2K16 2K card, and I'll be golden. That's just all they need to do. And then last but not least for me is to add a little bit more facial hairstyles, because what they got, like, they have this, like, obviously they had the James Harden and the LeBron James, but what they don't have is, like, after that, that's a full beard. That's like the only full beard you're getting, because the most full one after that is like some patchy kind of looking one. It's weird, but it's like patchy, and I don't like it. I want to see one that's just a full beard. It's not LeBron James or James Harden's. I just want to see a full beard. That's all I want to see. I don't want to see those two, because I mean, it just doesn't look right on my player. I still want them to be in the game, but add a couple more facial hairstyles, just a couple more, like, as that progression, because you get this little bit more, a little fuller. Okay, now it's kind of patchy. Then you go straight to LeBron James and James Harden. Like, I want one more, or at least two more facial hairstyles that kind of fill in the gap. That's just all I want. But those are my hopes and wants, and honestly, there's probably a couple more. The NBA 2K20 demo they actually announced is going to be August 21st, I believe. It's still going to be the same the prelude was, but for some reason, I guess they're not calling it the prelude, which I guess is probably for the best. But hopefully, all it said is that you get to get a head start on your My Career. But honestly, I think for the future of 2K, they either do away with this prelude, or make it to where in this prelude you can play online or do something online to kind of really get your fix on how the game is going to be played and everything, and not just play 2KU. Because I'm not trying to play 2KU where I'm hearing to press the pass button on your, like, I'm not trying to hear that every single 2 minutes. Like, I'm just trying to play a normal game where I don't hear anything and just kind of get the feel of the game. And all you really get every single prelude is, like, I'd say 30 minutes of My Career, and then all you got left is the 2KU, and that's it, because they don't let you go back in unless you make a brand new account and then play it again. Like, they need to let you make as many players as you want for every single archetype and replay it as much as you want, or just give you online so you can really truly get the feel of how the game is going to play. That's just in my opinion. But hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. Like I said, leave down in the comment section below your guys' thoughts, as well as what you think they can fix in my team. But as always, you guys know the drill. I will see you guys later.